Welcome friends, look at this question, arithmetic progression. You're told that the first, fifth and the seventh term of an AP. So I have an AP this side. You have the first, the fifth and the seventh. And if you talk about AP, we bring up a formula A plus n minus 1 D, where A is the first term, n is the number of term, and D is the common difference. They correspond to the first three consecutive terms of a GP. And if we talk about term of a GP, then we say it is A Rn minus 1. Therefore, if we start with the first term, given that you're told that there's a decreasing GP, the first term of each progression is 64. So the first term, it is 64 this side, and also 64 this side. That is our A. So to find the fifth term, using the formula, it will be 64 plus the fifth term, 5 minus 1, it is 4D. And the seventh term will be 64 plus 6D. They correspond in that order. So on this side, it will be the first term as 64R, because on this side, it will be the second term. So 2 minus 1, it is just like that. Then 64R for the second term. The third term here will be power 2, because it is the term minus 1. Therefore, because they are now corresponding to each other, it means that they are equal. Therefore, you are told to write the equations. It will be the two equations only involving D and R are these two equations. Therefore, you will say 64 plus 4D is equal to 64R. And the second one, it will be 64 plus 6D is equals to 64R squared. Those are the two equations involving D and R. Then find the values of D and R. Quite simple. You say we are going to take the first equation here. Then we say 64 plus 4D is equals to 64R. I divide both sides by 4 just to make the equation more smaller, so that I'll be having 16 plus D is equals to 16. So if I make D the subject of the formula, that D will be equal to 16R minus 16. Therefore, in the second equation, where I see D, I replace it with this equation over here. So it will be 64 plus 6. Instead of D, I'll write 16R minus 16 is equals to 64R squared. You open the bracket to have 64 plus 96R minus 96 is equal to 64R squared. So these two will subtract. I'll have 96R negative 32 is equal to 64R squared. Just to simplify it, using dividing both sides with the smallest equation, here I divide it by 32 by 32 by 32 on either side. So we're going to have 3R minus 1 is equals to 2R squared. So if I form a quadratic bringing all these on the other side, it will be 2R squared minus 3R plus 1 is equals to 0. Now this is a quadratic equation, and if you solve this quadratic equation, you are going to find that the common number here, we have 2R squared, then minus 2R minus R plus 1 is equal to 0, so that the value of R will be 2R minus 1 and R negative 1. Therefore, the value of R is a half and R is also 1. But remember, it is a decreasing. So if it's decreasing, automatically we are going with R is equals to a half. This one will be increasing, the other one will be decreasing. And you know, in geometric progression, if the ratio is less than 1, then it's a decreasing. If it is greater than 1, it is an increasing one. So you're told to find the sum of the 10th term of the arithmetic progression. To find term of a GP, sum of a GP, you'll say n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 d. And I don't have my d, but I have half as r. I can come and substitute it in our equation here, so that to find d, it will be 16r, which is this case a half, minus 16. So that is 8 minus 16. Therefore, our common difference is negative 8. If they wanted it here, you can also write D is equals to negative 8 because they were asking the value of D and R. So you just write it there. So to substitute this in our equation, the 10th term, 10 over 2, into the first term was 2 times 64, plus n, it is 10 minus 1. The common difference, it is negative 8. Therefore, you use a calculator to press on that, and you'll have the sum of those terms, it is 208. The geometric progression, the sum of a geometric progression, if r is less than 1, we say that a into 1 minus r power n over 1 minus r. Therefore, we are going to take 64 into 1 minus the common ratio, which is a half power 10 over 1 minus a half. If you press this on a calculator, we are going to get 127.87. So that is how the question is attempted under GP and AP, that is sequence and series in Form 3.